So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jessica Rorson, and I'm working with the Indigenous Business Services Program and Sage Hill Community Futures. We are offering a variety, well, we have been offering a variety of webinars for the past 2 years, more on the grassroots level, trying to help entrepreneurs build on their skills that can help enhance their businesses. Before we get started, I just wanted to recognize that today is International Indigenous Peoples Day. I am also a Métis woman, so I am proud to be a Métis woman, also living on Treaty 6 territory. So as we gather here today, we acknowledge we are on Treaty 6 territory and the homeland of the Métis. We pay our respects to the First Nations and Métis ancestors of this place and reaffirm our relationship with one another. Before we get started, Jenny Glessman from Sage Hill is going to say hi, and then Tammy Zdunich, our facilitator today, would love to just hear from everybody who's on the call, just to know what type of business you have and kind of just a little bit about yourself. So go ahead, Jenny.
Hi, I'm Jenny Glessman, and I'm with the Sage Hill Community Futures Office. We've been excited to bring this set of workshops or webinars, and I'm really excited about the one today because I actually wear two hats. I work here at Sage Hill, but then my husband and I own Bruno Lumber Supply in Bruno. So I work full time here, but I'm the marketer, bookkeeper, all those things. So I'm always looking to learn more. So I'm excited about today.
Thanks, Jenny. That's great. I feel like I wear like so many hats.
Yeah, I do too. Volunteer.
A hat competition.
Exactly. I think that's smart of small town Saskatchewan. I think we all do so many different things. So
we're so capable. We're just so capable. I feel like that's what it is. I'm going to just try to open up my screen here. So I don't know, like I'm Tammy Zdunich and I have a few hats. I have a retreat company called Inner Loom, and I have my photography business. And then I'm the founder of the Well Collaborative, which is a women's community of entrepreneurs who are essentially scaling and their businesses together. So yeah, I think it's just, do we just have Lindsay here too? I don't know if she wants to say hello. And if she doesn't, that's okay. Can wait. Are you here, Lindsay? That's okay. I can just get started. And if she wants to pop on and I can ask her some, it's a very small group, so you can feel not shy. Safe group. Okay, so I'm going to get started because I know that this is recording and then people can watch it on their own time. So trust building content. Okay, let's get into it here. Hold on one second. There we go. So I already said who I am. I am photographer and entrepreneur for over 20 years, a mother of 3, wife of 1. That was a joke. And passionate about creative business. I love creative entrepreneurship. I know that that's not necessarily who I'm speaking to today, but that's just something I feel like creatives are so lucky. They get to be a little bit more playful, and people just, you can be a little more crazy because you're an artist and it's accepted. So I feel like that's super fun in my career. So why is trust important? This was a slide I just added this morning. I was like, I should really talk just a little bit about why trust is important. So this is a quote from my dad. My dad's been coming up a lot lately for me. He's still alive. I meet with him once a week and I kind of gather content from him. So that's like a great place to get content from people who in your life who inspire you. So one thing he always said to me is the most important person in your business is the one that's in your door. And I think what can happen sometimes, especially with social media and digital marketing, is we get really concerned about attracting new customers. And while attracting new customers is awesome, and that's really important to business to always have that, new flow of customers coming in, I still firmly believe that the best way to get new customers is from the people you already have in your door. So I always have number one focus is creating trust with my current clients, and with the Well, that could be with the Well community, with the members. They're my priority over new members or new clients. So I do look at digital marketing, like social media and content, as a confirmation of what you say to be true, in terms of people go to it to see, oh, are they who she said they are? Like, who are they? And also a reminder to your clients, like you're staying front of mind to your current clients, and then also for new and prospective clients and leads. So I think one thing I had said here, the reason people come back time and time again is because they trust you. You tell them the truth, they can count on you, you do what you're going to say, you do what you say you're going to do. And if they trust you, they will trust telling their friends about you. And that referral is really the best way for business always. So having people trust you and that back and forth relationship is number one. So before I get into exactly how to build trust with content, I just want to talk about the 3 ways to get your audience to believe in your brand or your business, which is know, like, and trust. And I'm sure that you guys have heard this. I'm sure you know this, but I think it bears repeating, that does your following know you? So who are you and what do you do? So think about, this is another thing with like authentic, being authentic on social media. There's obviously only a certain amount of things you want to share, and everybody's level is different. So some people are comfortable sharing a lot more, and that's what their brand demands and their audience wants. And that's maybe they're a coach or something and they need to share more. Not everyone, you don't need to share personal stuff about yourself, but people want to know who you are. So I think number one, do they know you? And then it's also just a really good idea to put out there what you do. Like, I think that's pretty basic, but I think sometimes people get so into the idea of like who I am that sometimes they forget to like give the offering of what they do that will actually make them money. So I think it's a balance. So does your following like you? Share your personality. I think this is something that I was really good at this at the beginning. And then I think as my business grew, I got a little less comfortable sharing my personality because it felt like there were more people seeing it and potentially more people who wouldn't like it. And then I would hear the backlash of that. So I think there's like a bit of a fear there with people liking you. And then also the thing that you don't need everyone to like you, but you just need enough people to like you who want to give you money so that you can run your business. So I think there's a piece there too. So the more you are of yourself, the more you kind of share your quirks, create some common ground with your audience, the more, then people really start to like you. And this is the other thing too, is they don't have to agree with you and everything you're saying. They just need to like you and know you. And then the third one is trust. So does your following trust you? How do we create trust? Through social media, through digital marketing. So I'm going to walk you through 7 points today. I'm excited about this. I'm excited. I'm going to get started. Sorry, I'm like creating, what do you call it? Anticipation. I'm anticipating myself. Okay. Okay, at least I'm having fun, right? Okay, so 7 points for creating trust through social media. These are the ones I'm gonna touch on today. So create and share valuable content, engage with your followers, utilize positive reviews, follow up with your network, check your sources, show people the real you, and be consistent. And I mean, I definitely felt like a little bit when I read these, I was like, oh, you're not going to be able to hit them all the time. That's a lot. It's hard. It's hard to like nail all of these things. And I think also you're going to jump around a little bit in like what order you do them in. So the first one is create and share valuable content. So one question I had written here. So I'll just keep going, as often as possible, share your own photos, thoughts, and genius zone. This was interesting. As I was looking at this morning and just reviewing it, a thought came to mind. How do you support yourself so you can create authentic content? Because I think a problem with this sometimes when you're showing yourself is the self-doubt and what do you need to do to protect yourself? So for me, that would look like not being on social media unless it's my like allotted time to be on social media. And that would only be the slide I'm coming to when I have decided to engage with my community. So I have to protect myself, or what can happen is I can see what other people are doing, and then there's comparison comes in, then imposter syndrome comes in, and it's just kind of ugly. And then the valuable, great content of my genius doesn't go to the world because I'm just so distraught from the fact that maybe other people are doing what I'm doing, or someone said something similar, or, there's just so many cases where maybe someone has a lower price on a product, someone just launched something, you were going to launch that. Like, all of these things really are detrimental to our business. And I think that's something that's so new and really specific to digital marketing. There were never so many people in the same industry as you in one tight little spot before. And even though it's not, you're not actually in the vicinity in terms of location, you're in the vicinity in terms of the phone, and you are each other's competitors in a sense, depending on what you're doing, because people travel now, it's online now, there's lots of other ways to have competition now that didn't exist before. So when I say create and share valuable content, what am I talking about? Because Tammy gets off track. So what am I talking about? What facts do you know? So what's really specialized in your genius zone? I love talking about a genius zone. That's something a little bit new that I've been talking about. And I think it's really important for people to know what that is for them. What are you really, really, really good at? What are you the best at? What is your, not better than other people, but what is your best strength? What are you the best at? So what facts do you know about that? So for me, using my own examples, the easiest way for me. So if I'm talking about my three businesses, they all come down to essentially like mainly gathering women or working with women. So women would be a part of my genius zone. Gathering women would be a part of my genius zone, and creating space where they feel safe would be a part of that. So that applies in every single thing that I do, and it's just in a different way. So what facts do I know about women, about retreat hosting, about how people like to gather? Like, how much information can I get out of myself from my own experiences, whether that's storytelling or something I heard said at an event. I mean, ask permission if it's a direct quote. Don't share people's personal stories, just a little bit there. So those are things that I know from my own experience from working with these communities that people want to be honored in. So those are facts I know. What's unique about my offering? So what is special to what I'm offering that maybe other retreats aren't offering, something that's a little bit different? And how does it help people? So I like to do these in either just I use Canva, and if I just do it, like, I type out the words, and then that's like a post where it's just script on a color, one of my brand colors, that's fine. I mean, if people are following you, they want to know what you know. So you may as well tell them. And this is like a great, easy way to do that. And I also just want to say, consider that you do know a lot, and you know a lot of things that other people don't know, and spend time by yourself so you can get that content, or go have coffee with your dad if he is great for content for you, and just sit with him and like glean from that person. Water is another way that I get content. When I'm having a shower, in the bath, things just come to me. So find those places for yourself. Okay, so engage with your followers. This is something that I feel like you need to be aware of, but also have boundaries around. So how much time do you allot to engage with your online community each week? And I really think it should be allotted time. So put it in your calendar. Decide ahead of time. Don't let it become the vortex where you just go down and you're just really like getting lost in all the messages, in all the like what everybody's doing. Just really stay focused on that. So pay attention to what questions your followers are asking, answer them in a post. So this is a great way to get content again, I just want to say. So pay attention to what questions your followers are asking, write that down. Answer it on the comment, engage in that way, and then write it down. That's a post for you. more than likely others are wondering the same thing. So you just want to keep sharing that. That also builds trust, repetition. Like, it sounds so boring for a creative person like me, but people just need to see and hear the same thing over and over and over again. And that also creates trust, because then they're not seeing you showing different things and they're not sure what does that person do anyways. So create a recurring task at the same time each day or week to get to know your followers. What are their pain points? So you could ask them. That's another great way, is listen to them and then repeat back to them what they say to you in a post, or use it as share, do you feel, just really relate to them on that level. So one thing that a girl had said to me recently at the well was, think of your followers as real people at like a party. So she said, when you're on social media, be like you're going to an event. This is you're going to an event for half an hour. You're just going to go, you're going to network, and then you're going to go home. Grab your phone, get on your phone. You're at the party. Who do you want to meet? Who do you want to talk to? Who's talking to you? Engage, then get off. So that's like, I just think you got to have to treat your digital marketing like a job. This one I love. This is kind of like something I hadn't thought of a lot, but utilizing positive reviews. So the easiest way to create trust building content, and I just had said this, but I'm going to say it again, is by repeating back to your followers what they are already telling you. Leverage these positive reviews by creating content with them. It's not bragging, it's just the truth. People say something to you that they think about you, that's positive and awesome. It's truth. Just share it. So I think that one of the easiest ways is just go in your Google reviews and just see what people are saying about you. And then use that to create a post. So it might be that you share an image and then you write under it, and you might have to flip it. So if someone says, I'm going to try to off the cuff something, like, Tammy makes me feel at ease during a photo shoot. That was so fun and easy. So then I could say, like, are you nervous about photo shoots? Do they feel like something you dread and like you don't want to go to? I make it easy. Just, you just flip it around. Keep going. Follow up with your network. So this is point number 4 for building trust. Follow up with your network. So I'm talking about our IRL. My husband said to me the other day, what does IRL mean? Is that a thing? I said, yes, it means in real life. It's a thing, especially since COVID for the last 2 years. I feel like now it's a thing. So in real life is very important. I think as much as you can, don't just connect on social media. They've met you there, they've seen you there, they're curious about you, and then you meet them in real life and they actually get to see who you are. And then if anything is trust building, it's when your social matches the person they meet in who you are in person. If your social is something that you're putting out there and it's very, it can be curated, but it's very like specific style, and then they meet you and you're a completely different person, probably that's something you want to, work on. So even in like what Jenny does, I feel like with your business, like you can still have really fun posts on your digital that show the personality. I know one example is a good friend of mine owns Par Auto Body. She's managing partner at Par. And you'll see their posts. She'll all of a sudden have a picture. I do shoot content for her. So I'll go and shoot a day of content. And then she'll do like really silly one where they're like doing, that over the head, or like being silly and having fun. And they're still a professional company and people trust them. And I mean, your lives on the line, they're dealing with your vehicle. So you have to be able to trust that company, but they also see like the humanity in them. And then I think that just even makes a stronger trust bond. So I'm just gonna look at my notes, what I have here. So yeah, I just want to say again, consider social media a confirmation of what you've said to be true. They meet you in real life, you say what you do, they're like, oh, that person was interesting. What was it they did again? Or what was it about them? They search you up on social media, They come to your feed and they see that it matches the person that they met. And I think that's like, just, even if it means that you're having, I don't know where everyone's at, but if you have multiple social media accounts, one where it's personal and one where it's your business, that's a really good way to do that. Or, and then just keep it really clean to what you're doing, but then have a little bit of you in it too. Yeah, I'm really seeming to want to drive home that point about it being confirmation to what you say is true. So let's just go with that. Tammy has that a few times. I do this funny thing now where I talk about myself in the third person. I think I watched a show and they were doing that, and I've had Tammy. Yeah, it's really weird. People have been telling me that lately. I feel like I'm flying through this. I'm like, oh shoot. Okay, that's okay. I'll slow down. Check your sources. So this is interesting. Check your sources. Where did you, so there's content you're getting from your father. I'm going to keep going back to my dad, from my dad. There's things I just know from 20 years of being in the industry in photography. There's things that I want to share that is not my content. So check your sources, double check, get the tag right, and quote the right person. I would be lying if I said that I got the tag right all the time. I get tagged in things that I'm not a part of all the time. And I have tagged the wrong person before. And then I hear about it, in the DM or on a comment. And I would say that hurts trust. Like, that is something that it's about doing your homework, making sure that just double check it. Like, it's not a rush in that case. And I'm speaking to myself as much as anyone here that it's so important to check your sources nowadays. There's a lot of canceling happening. It's not safe on social media. It's just not a really safe place. So I would say protect yourself as much as you can. I have grace for mistakes, and a lot of people I know have grace for mistakes, but a lot of people don't. And I would say the majority, it's the people who don't are a lot louder than the people who do. So just be mindful about when you're posting things, that if you're quoting someone, or if you heard something, or it's like a saying you've always heard, that you could even, sometimes I just say, whose quote was that anyway? If anyone knows, post it in the comments, if you do a Google search and you can't find the original author of that. So I feel like that's really important to have that in there. So show people the real you. I thought that picture was so cute. I'm like, I just love when people show like real stuff going on in their lives on their social, even if it's messy, and like, I know not everyone wants to involve their family, and that's okay. Not everyone has a family, but what you have is important. So if you have a dog, if you have a cat, if you love, my one friend, she's a photographer, and her mom is quite elderly, and she always goes and like videos her mom and her, and she'll do silly things to her mom and kind of tease her mom, and her mom's a teaser too. So it goes both ways. It's not like, she's not like, what's the word? But anyways, it's kind and it's loving, but it's hilarious. And it really makes you, I feel, before I knew her, I felt very connected to her through that interaction with her and her mom. So I think bringing in some of that into your feed is really good, especially if it's like in a consistent way. So it's always the same person, and people can follow along and start to get to know you and that person. I think that's really cute. So who really are you? So the one way to find common ground is sharing something that is personal about you. You decide how much and how often, but just keep it consistent. So this is interesting. This was something we dug into at the retreat in Tofino, and I think this is the basis for all, for business really, is figuring out who you are and what you love. And because so much of that plays into your company, and you have to show up for your company every day. And is it something that really aligns with you? Do you really love it? So the more you can know who you are, your identity, what your values are, and staying on course with those things, and then sharing those things with your community, the more you will really get a loyal following. And I think that can be hard. There's things we're not sure how much we want to share sometimes, again. So deciding that one, I think the values is a really good way. So I don't know if you have all done your values. Anyone done their values? Jessica? Jenny? No? No?
No.
Oh, I love it. There's a free values course on the well on our link tree if you want to go on Instagram. Totally do that. Because okay, so here's I'm gonna just because I'm going so fast and I have time. With the values. So there's a values course and it's essentially the basis of it is from Brene Brown. So she has like a list of values and you all you do is like read the list of values. And we've changed the list a little bit, but you read the list of values to get to know what really aligns with you and who you are. So it's like 100, it's so many words. So you go through them all, and then literally as you're reading the words, whichever one sort of gives your intuition, like gives you that feeling, you like write that one, you circle that one, and you do that for all the words. So maybe you have 25 at the end of that. And then you have to look at all of the words and you need to decide which ones can you live into. So which ones are maybe something you wish you were, you scratch out all those, you don't do any of those ones. Which ones are things that you can live by that, and then anything that you either want to be, you get rid of, or anything that you can't live by with every decision you make, you get rid of. And then you usually people have like 5, 6 at that point, and then you need to narrow it down to 2. So you just keep doing the work, and then you ask yourself things like, is this something I hope to achieve, or am I irritated and that's why I've picked this? Like, do people keep lying to me so I've picked trust? Well, maybe it's actually not trust, maybe it's something else. So you don't pick ones that are solving problems. Get rid of all those. So then you end up with like 2. And sometimes I thought mine were vulnerability and faith, but mine were actually freedom and faith. So then what happens is when you're trying to do something like run your business or social media, you're thinking, when you're doing a post, can I post this? Am I within my values? So even if you're doing an offering for your business, you're committing to a launch, you're committing to a product, store hours, like literally it applies to everything. So then you have to go, will this work within my values? If it doesn't, it's not going to work for any amount of time, and you're going to fall off. You're not going to be able to sustain that. So you'll find if there's things in the past that you've noticed in business or in your personal life that haven't went well, it's because it's out of your values. So you have stepped outside of your values and you have acted on in another something else, and then you need to come back into that road. So I think of my values as like the road, and then when I get out of them, I start to get on like those rumble strips on the side of the highway, and things start to feel really bad. I'm like, and then you have to bring it back in. So how like ways that has played out in my life, if I think about, like, I used to work on like Sundays. I don't work on Sundays anymore. Very rare that I will work on a Sunday. It has to be very special and very specific that I'm willing to do that. Or another thing would be with freedom, anything that is, and this is the next slide. So anything that is too consistent, repeated, boring, basically, steals my freedom. I can't make a choice. There's no spontaneity. I can't do it. So I have to run a business in a different way because it doesn't work for me as a person. So I just say, like, don't try to change who you are. Just really figure out who you are so that you can show up at your company, in your business, in-person networking, online connecting, with your posts, with everything you're doing as the real you. I love how I brought it all back to that because I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do that. So I'm really proud of myself right now.
Well, that's really great, Tammy. And I think that also organizations will recognize through your, oh, I've lost the word. Maybe your give back strategy or the involvement that you, corporate social responsibility, sorry. So you might not want to share, let's say, some personal things about yourself. However, you will publicly commit to and publicize what organizations you support and give money to or volunteer at or different things. And I think that's another way too to show who you are without saying who you are.
I love that. And you're so right. You're so right. And you see that a lot in big organizations with what they've supported, with what their company is donating proceeds to. And it always like aligns with their values, whether they know that or not. It's something they're really passionate about. So they're drawn to it. Yeah, I love that. Thank you. And does anyone else have any thoughts or comment? Can we just like, you know how much I love that. Yes, you. No?
The one thing I've noticed is when you were talking about being real and showing who you are, because we live in a small town, we're very family oriented. And I always notice that when I do share something, like even on my Father's Day post this time, instead of just taking a random picture off a Canva, I actually used my daughter's graduation picture from last year with all of us together. And I used that and I built my Father's Day post around that. Way more people commented, way more people got involved because it was us and it was real. And I've been trying to do that more. And I noticed my husband is a real character. He's usually up to something. And we run a greenhouse too as part of our business. And he's always the one that tells you he doesn't know the difference between a pansy and a petunia. And he said all these women and their crazy flowers. And I caught him actually planting a tomato plant, and I videoed it and I put it on and said, this guy even has the bug and is starting to plant. Well, people thought it was crazy, but it really works.
Yeah.
You know,
like having the courage to do it, having the courage to share something, because I think that it's so much more scary. It's way easier in the sense because you're already doing that. You're already happy, and you're it's something that makes you happy. But it's like way scarier to share a personal thing.
Well, and especially I started doing some videos like going live and just talking. Just the first couple times, I think I was shaking. I think the phone even shook because I was holding it. Now it's no big deal. I just turn it on and I talk. But and people like have clicked on it and liked it, and I've been giving advice about the different types of petunias, but they like that part. They don't want to see scripted. They want to see that free, that this is us. And and I will say it, the real you, they really want to see that.
And I would say like on top of that, so you're sharing a funny reel or cute video of your husband planting a tomato plant, then that's great. And that really engages me. But then the next post, I would love to actually just know how you do that.
How to actually plant it? Yeah.
Just tell me what you know. Right?
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
So even though, just FYI, no one's going to engage on that as much as you want. They'll never engage like they do on the video, but they need the information. And then that's like the trust relationship there between that and that. And then you're keeping me coming back because I actually need you. So you're not just a funny video. Like I actually need you in order to plant my stuff. Like I don't actually know otherwise how to do it.
That's a good point for us, because then it goes to the lumberyard stuff and where he knows all this stuff. Whereas we could do a cute video and then he could actually explain why you need something.
Yeah. And write it down so that I can just refer to it really quick, reference it, I can save it. And you can always say, save this post. Like sometimes what I'll do right at the start is just save this post right away. I'm going to teach you how to build a garden box, or I'm going to tell you what's the best lumber to build a garden box, untreated, like whatever that is, like just really. And then was told this too by someone else in the community, was to speak to your audience like their like grade 2, 3, 4 level. So not that you're dumbing it down, you're just saying, don't assume I know what lumber to use. Don't assume I know anything about your specialty.
That's a
What
good
do I-
point.
do I do peat moss? Like, I don't know. Like, what do I put in with the dirt? Like, how big should my pot be? Like, it's just those really basic things that keep people coming back to you because they know you're the expert, they trust you, and they like you because you're funny and you're personable and you're relatable.
Mhm.
And then they also want to know what you know.
Oh, okay. I like that next step. That's a great idea.
Always repeat, repeat, repeat. It does come down to like an example. Like I love when you share an example from your own business, then that makes it, yeah.
Well, the other thing we get is everybody coming in and they got their phone on and it's on Pinterest and they want to build this.
Good luck.
And he says, I'm running because you've got Pinterest on your phone. But the next thing I know, he's making a Pinterest project of pumpkins that we made. And I shared it. But Pinterest, he just says, oh no, here comes another woman with Pinterest. But the projects that we've built out of our store off of Pinterest, but I can see how we can play on that now.
That would actually be really funny to show like Pinterest fails once a week on like Friday or something. Here's how to do it right. Like Pinterest fail. And then like, here's what I would have done or something.
Well, because they come with this list of supplies, which you can't even get half of them sometimes in Canada.
Yeah.
And then you have to show what you can get. So, this is giving me some really good ideas.
Just like so simple, so simple. That builds trust. I'm telling you, that's like, okay. Cal, keep going. So this is number 7. So this is the last point is, I was like, are you consistent? I am not consistent. So I will put my hand up right now. Being a creative means doing what I want when I want. But that makes a bad business model. So I use timers. I take breaks. I put fun in my day so that I can do the other things that I have to do. And I put everything in the calendar. So I'm a huge like a Google person. Like everything is in Google. Like my life is in Google. If Google shuts down, I'm screwed. Like everything is on there. So I have the things I use are anytime I do an event or like a photo shoot, even if that client has Google, I add them in Google as the like I add them into the event so that it automatically hits their calendar. And I feel that more often than not, people also use Google Calendar. So I put in, everything goes in there. It goes on repeat, so what you could do is like on Tuesday at 2, if that's your time to like walk the dog, if you need to like take a break, or if you want to listen to a podcast or you want to check your social, then that's the time you do it every week. And you just put it in there and then it's a reminder and you don't have to think about it during the day otherwise. Or you put in your reminder to like check your email at 9 and you check your email at 4. And that's what you do every day. And then when do you post on social? Same time every day. When do you engage with your clients? Same time every day. I really like to post. So my posts go automatic. And then when I notice, it notifies me on my phone that my post went up. So that's when I like to engage right away on there. So if all my posts hit around 2, then I know I go on at 2 and then I can engage with all of my posts, comments, things like that at that time and try to bring up the algorithm at that time. So I think that everything has to go into my calendar if I'm going to actually do the things. And it makes me like way less worried about forgetting something because I know it's in there, set my notifications, whatever I have to do to make sure that I hit that. And that's specifically for a personality like me. I'm like very spontaneous. So, this morning I did like a really big live and I hadn't, or not a live, like a big story. And I had not planned that at all. In fact, if I plan it, so this, I'm contradicting myself now. So think about if you're like me and you need spontaneity, then make sure you just have chunks of time that are planned to be unplanned. So like 9 to 11, I have nothing in my calendar. I'm working and I might be working on inner alert, like my retreat, but I don't know exactly what I'm doing. And then as I'm working, something comes to me, something hits me, a thought hits me that I'm like, that's brilliant. I'm going on right now. And then people are really getting like that fresh. It doesn't feel forced. I wasn't trying to get like, okay, like, am I ready? Am I, oh, am I feeling like I can like story right now? Or I'm not really feeling it. Then that's not the time to do it. Because so as much as you're going to put it in your calendar, I like to have chunks of time for certain things, and then I can let it unfold a little bit more naturally. I do have people who work for me because of the way I am. Then I bring in people who work for me who are much more task orientated, and they are like 9:15, 9:30. Like they have different tasks every 15 minutes, half hour, because that's how they function. And they love to just check things off their to-do list. So I tend to partner with people who are like highly organized and strategic, because I am highly creative and spontaneous. So that's okay. It doesn't mean I can't run a business. It just means I have to be I have to plan the unplanned. Does that make sense? So yeah, I would say if you are a planner, then do you struggle with, this is just a question I have for either of you, or Lindsay or Jen, if they want to pipe on or chime in or pop on. Which do you lean towards? Do you lean towards being more naturally unplanned and spontaneous, or do you lean towards wanting to plan it out, even having your script kind of down before you hop on to like a live or social? What do you girls think? Jessica, what about you? I want to know.
Like, I personally don't do any live things at all.
But like work, like, are you like planner consistent or scheduled, or are you like?
No, I have really bad ADHD. So I function in a chaotic but organized manner. So like I know what I need to do, but there's no way somebody could pick up where I like it. I need a few more systems for myself, but the problem is I think I need systems, but I can't actually follow the system.
I feel so refreshed right now.
So I have notebooks that I write things in, and then sometimes I can't find that notebook because I also actually wrote it in a different notebook.
Yep.
Like, so then I have to remember which notebook was that I wrote that in.
I mean, I would say in that case, you probably like pen to paper, but I do find I have been able to switch over to Google Docs and notes. And I am, because I love typing. So my stuff exists either in notes on my computer or phone, or Google Docs, which is everywhere.
And I like pen to paper. I really like when I'm speaking to someone on the phone, hey, do this, this, this. I write it all out. And then I just, okay. And then I go back and I can follow along.
I think, yeah, definitely. I think that it's sometimes harder to work for people like me, like people who are a little more organized chaos. But man, there's a lot of visionary and brilliance in people like that. So it is a matter of finding ways to support people to be themselves and not trying to change them to be something they're not. Mm-hmm. Then you can never be sustainable in that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, what about you?
I'm kind of like Jessica. I'm here and then I'm there, and then something will pop into my head. I got to do that, and I think my posts and stuff come the same way. I schedule and I do all that kind of stuff, but then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. Got to do that, and off I go.
Yeah. I think that's good. Like I think there's authenticity there too, because when everything's too planned, it just doesn't feel real anymore. It's kind of like meh, you know? Mm-hmm. Jen or Lindsay, are you there? Would you be willing to share?
Here's Jen in the chat.
Yeah, so Jen said, I pick my top 3 tasks I need to get done each day. When I'm in a flow state, I have to keep going.
Oh, I love you, Jen. Who are you? You sound so great, so brilliant, Miss Flow State. I love that. I love that state. Isn't that just so great? Ooh, interruptions during that state is the worst. Mm-hmm. like when something, you get a call or something, or you have to go like get the kids, because like yesterday there's a torrential downpour and like I had to leave work and go get the kids, and a swimming, because they were swimming outdoor at a pool. It's awful. So, you know, you get interrupted, and then it's just so beautiful being in like that state, or the state of deep work. I love like that deep work. Okay, I will go back to this. Did I? Hey, come on. Flip, flip. There we go. I thought I would just talk really quickly about, and I know we've touched on them, but like potential roadblocks to things that come up, which I feel like is what we've been talking about. So
your screen did not switch if you wanted it to.
Yeah, I did. So let me figure that out. Hold on one second. Da, da, da.
There we go.
Okay, good. So okay, but wait, now I can't see I gotta see my notes here. 1 second. There we go. Is it good still?
Yes.
Okay. So this is one thing I had said, and I do agree with it. I think it's tough. I think like you need to fully commit regardless of whether others buy in. And what I'm talking about with that is letting go of the end result. So, you know, I'll give you an example. Like we're launching our second retreat right away. And that's it's a huge investment up front. It's a lot of energy. And it's a big, everyone who comes it's quite expensive. So it's kind of like, it's a huge risk to launch something that's a very, very few people, big amount of money. And you don't know if anyone's going to buy a ticket. So it's like, am I willing to be so excited, like I feel, and think positive and assume the best? I know it's viable. We just did one. And even if I didn't know that for the first one, I did not know that. So do I believe in it enough? Am I willing to fully commit regardless of the end result, regardless of what happens? Is it a failed launch if no one buys in? Is it, you know, like, what does it mean about me? So I think it's really trying to let go of those things. It doesn't mean anything about me. You know, it doesn't mean anything about it. It just means that it didn't work for whatever reason, and I can figure that out, or I can pivot, or I can keep trying, and I get to make that decision. But letting go of the end result is really important if you're really going to give your all to something, whether it's digital marketing, social media. I think it matters so much in social media, because I think there's constant limitations and roadblocks in our minds as to how we're putting ourselves out there. I think it's fine to decide ahead of time who you are, how you want to show up, but then commit fully. Time. So I just had written like, don't give up if you don't see immediate results. I just see it so often. I feel it, I see it. I mean, we have like 100 members in our community, women entrepreneurs, and we see it. We see, you know, someone will work themselves up to it. So they'll commit fully. They think they're doing it regardless of the end result. And then they put this one post out there, and they're like, I launched it. And then like, maybe sometimes I used to launch things like years ago, and it would just be like, boom, it would sell out in a heartbeat. And then now it's like, it's harder. It's like, it might take months, and I have to have I decided to commit fully? Am I staying true, keeping on with this? Like, I know now that launching this retreat, our tickets go sale Monday. So this is like, I'm right in it with you. I'm right in it right now. So I know that it could be months, and I'm willing to commit to that. I have a deadline as to when we have to make a decision by. It's in February. I have lots of time, but that means that I have to keep going in spite of what I'm hearing, what's going on. I have to close a lot of that off and just stay focused on what I believe to be true, fully commit, and not make it mean something about me. And it's the same thing when things go well. It doesn't necessarily have to mean anything about me. I can be happy, I can celebrate, but it's not my identity. It's not who I am. It's just a business. Like, it's just a successful, whatever, or failed launch. Like it is what it is. By the way, there's no failed launches, because just the fact that someone is courageous enough to like create something and put it out there whether a product or a store or whatever it is, there's no failed launches. There's no failed anything. It's always a learning. It's always an education. I think it's so worthwhile. So then lastly, the truth equals trust. I just really feel people know when you're lying. Like, I don't know, this is something that the generations that are younger, they've, they say like millennials and before and younger have grown up being marketed to. So they either on TV or on their phones, whatever it is, radio, they know fake like nobody's business. So the more you can align with your authentic truth and why you started in the first place, like your why, like why are you even doing this? The more you can like align with that, speak that, then the easier it is to be consistent. Because if you really believe in it, then you're just passionate about it and you want to talk about it and you want to share. And that's the best place for it to come from, because people then, then they just know you and they're like, that's what that person does. That's the go-to person to go to if I want that service or if I want that product. They're so passionate about it. And then does anyone have anything they want to add to that in terms of roadblocks, or are we good to keep going? Keep going.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. I don't know where it's not. Oh, okay, I'm done. Look at that. So then I just had this little one of me and Carolyn. So that's the girl that I do the retreats with. I just love that. So that was an interesting content, that photo that I took. So what that photo is, everyone's like, how did you take that? And I'm like, no, like we already took the photo on our phone. We were just holding it and looking at it. So it looks like her and I are taking the photo right now. But I have my professional camera because it's taken on my professional camera and I'm not holding my camera in the picture. So I had some girls asking me and I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, oh, wait. It was a selfie we took and then it's like not the right angle, but I just like love that. So I feel like little things like that are kind of fun too, to just do weird, like vision, like my mind's failing me today. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, those are my personal social media accounts that I run. I also have the Well Collaborative that I'm the founder of. And that's it. Thanks for coming. Thanks for asking me to do this.
Yeah, you are so welcome. I'm going to look into this, the retreat. I didn't realize that you had branched off to a retreat business as well. That's great.
It's actually my genius zone. It's the thing I'm the best at. And I think it's from, I noticed that when we went, I think it's like all the years of creative entrepreneurship combined with the Well, it's like my favorite parts of both, like just smashed in a retreat with women. It's like it's my jam. We laugh so hard. We just laugh so hard. Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah. Okay, thanks again.
This was great.
Tammy.
I will stop sharing here. Hold on. There we go.